is up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the show where we help you get ready for the day in the stock market. We have a very big day ahead of us, a very big day behind us. We had a lot of companies that reported earnings this morning. I hope you guys are doing well. I appreciate you all for joining me. I just got to double check we are live on all the platforms. Yeah, there we go. I think we are live on YouTube right now. All right. I appreciate y'all for letting me help you get ready for the day in the stock market. If there are any stocks that you guys want me to take a look at throughout this, if there are any big news stories from the morning that I don't cover, let me know and I will make sure that we look at them. We did have a nice and busy morning. When I kind of look at this in general, SPY is shaping up to start the day up 0.2%. QQQ up about 0.2% as well. But as you can see by all of these live earnings calls going on right now, we had a lot of names, reporting earnings this morning. When we switch over to this view, maybe if I zoom in a little, you could see it was actually kind of mixed. Disney reporting some weak numbers, Uber, McDonald's, Shopify. Let's look at how some of these earnings movers are initially moving. Shopify was up big, still up big, up 15%. Disney was down a little bit, still down a tiny bit. Uber was down, had a reversal, and now is back to being red, but you can kind of see the Uber move there. McDonald's, and then I want to also take a look at Oscar Health. McDonald's is up 4. We'll dig in deeper into why a lot of these are moving. And then Oscar Health is down 2. We got a lot of people saying good morning here. Trader Girl, appreciate you being here. CJ, good morning, blessings. We are live. What is up, Justin? Mikey B has some SPY puts expiring on Friday. Okay. Malik wants us to look at AMD, and that is another thing that we will for sure talk about. We had a lot of companies that reported earnings last night. So let's look at some of the initial movers on those, actually. AMD, down 5. SMCI, down 15. SMCI is definitely one we'll take a deeper look into. ANET, Rivian, A-Lab, Upstart. ANET and A-Lab. ANET is up 12. A-Lab is up 20. All right, so the A's are doing well. Rivian was down yesterday. Rivian down 6. Upstart, not up. And then Zeta was another one there. Zeta's up 13. Let's go. FinTwit favorite Zeta. Yeah, a lot of companies reported earnings. 12 of them. Damn, Mikey. Appreciate you being here. SMCI is definitely a buy the dip. We'll look into it. Let's learn through some of my tweets from the morning, and then we will go from there because these are some of the numbers we had. Uber reported EPS of 63 cents, which was a small beat. Revenue of $12.7 billion, which was a small beat. They announced a $20 billion share buyback program. Let's take a look on the Seeking Alpha, what else Uber was saying. It says $20 billion share buyback. Uber in charts. Uber picked up speed as growth profitability increased in Q2. Despite a beat on top and bottom line, or top line, improvement of 34% in profitability. I didn't see too much that was out of the normal on the Uber numbers. Also not super surprising the way it moved. McDonald's, this was the one that stood out for me the most, but EPS came in at $3.19. Beating expectations of $3.15. Revenue was also a beat. Comparable same-store sales was a big beat. A lot of this was driven internationally. I believe their same-store sales growth in the U.S. was 2.5%, sorry. So that is, showing a lot of the international one. But this was, as we were looking here on the McDonald's move, older company, not going to move too aggressively, up 4% on earnings. That is a big mover for them. Profit and revenue beat, same-store sales number. This is U.S. comparable sales, 2.5%, 2.33. This is, we saw on like Starbucks and a couple other nerds. Maybe it was Chipotle. It was Chipotle, the one I'm thinking of. Came in with weak year. They actually were down year over year. This is a big deal in the restaurant space. Next one was Disney. EPS of $1.61, which was a beat. Revenue was more or less in line with expectations. Disney Plus subscribers missed. They said that next quarter they're going to stop launch, or they're going to start, or by the end of the year, not be giving out the number of subscribers anymore. That's not good, following Netflix footsteps. There was this one that's been going around that the NFL has taken a 10% stake in ESPN, and then ESPN now acquired the rights to a lot of the NFL networks and stuff like that. They are launching their own ESPN streaming service August 21st. They're going to be launching a lot of their games on here. So it seems like we're really kind of testing that. This might be the end for their linear model. We'll see. Sorry, I'm looking back at the comments here. Palo Alto. Ebenezer, we'll take a look a little bit later. SPY 620. We're looking at puts. What do you think about Novo Nordisk? Is it still a falling knife, or do you see support to do some DCA or a new position? Truthfully, I do like the GLP-1 theme. I've been playing it mostly, if not exclusively, through, I've been playing it exclusively through AMD. I'm all over the place. Through Eli Lilly. So yeah, I like the theme. I feel like Novo Nordisk in the long-term time frame, it might end up being a buy here. I haven't done the full specifics into Novo Nordisk over Eli Lilly, but yeah. I'm up on my Zeta. Great call out, Evan. And listen, sometimes the good call outs we talk about, the bad ones, maybe not. I'm thinking of locking in my Zeta position as well. Quickly, I've been putting it on the screen a couple times. Let's get it here. The Zeta cost basis. Kashkari, actually, sorry to get you. Fed President Kashkari is speaking right now. Let me try and get this in front of me. Fed Kashkari, the economy is slowing. Still not clear what impact of tariffs will have on inflation. Still may be appropriate in the near term to begin adjusting policy rate. Another person saying rate me. Let me dig a little bit deeper, see what else I see, and then that. But Kashkari, this is a time when a lot's happening, and as you guys know, I have ADHD, so sorry. Well, let's get this Kashkari post out. Okay. Still may be appropriate. So Kashkari saying rate cuts short term, basically the next meeting. And then I was also looking at my Zeta cost basis. My Zeta cost basis is, I'm up 10%, 1620. 1620. I don't know why it doesn't save this goddamn line. That's a nice move. Zeta was definitely more of a swing trade for me, so I would be looking to maybe get out of that one a little sooner, Mikey, for sure. Yeah, actually, let's go back to here. So we were talking about the Disney earnings. Disney stock was moving lower, down about 0.69%. It got most of its move back. You could see it. It was even higher at one point. Disney launching ESPN on August 21st. This is DTC streaming service. They're going to have a lot of their games on here. So I'm curious for what this does to their linear TV network now that you can just watch the games for $30 a month there. Probably what most people do. Shopify, continue on, had earnings this morning as well. They had an EPS beat. They had a revenue beat. Shopify was up big. Source to new 52-week high, smashing estimates. Gross merchandise volume was up 31% to $87.8 billion during the quarter, beating the expectations of $81.7 billion. That is quite a big beat. That is the amount of like just stuff that is sold through Shopify stores. Monthly recurring revenue improved to $185 million. Okay, free cash flow $422 million, and free cash flow margin was 16% of sales. It's not horrible. Sees Q3 revenue growing at a mid to high 20s% rate on a year-over-year basis. I wonder what Wall Street was expecting for that. Kashkari says 2 rate cuts this year still seems appropriate. 2 rate cuts appropriate, says Kashkari. Okay. So, can actually get cheap. Let's keep it moving. These are some of those Kashkari headlines that are coming up right now. Let's see if that is moving the markets at all. I don't think so. Little downtick, but that might not even be fully related to this. Kashkari, some of those comments right there. If inflation does not rise because of tariffs, the Fed could pause or even hike, is what Kashkari says. If inflation does rise because of tariffs, the Fed could pause or even hike. Okay. By the way, if you guys are wherever you're watching this and seeing this, shout out to some of these people commenting below the stream. Shout out to the people liking it and retweeting it. I really appreciate that, getting this shared out to more people. And like I always say, everyone commenting in the chat makes a really big difference. Is Wolf of a trading program I heard on the space something about $200 a month for an algorithm or something like that. That is not within Trump, within Wolf itself at this point. I bet you it was maybe one of the guys on there or something. But CJ, I'd imagine that's coming soon. They're working on some cool stuff. M calls it Kashkari. I could see why. But yeah, shout out to you guys supporting us, supporting everything. This was a headline that I thought was interesting. White House economic advisor just said likely to hear about new U.S. investment commitment from Apple today. Apple stock did move higher in the pre-market. I put out the post, is Apple about to get released from the presidential doghouse? That could be a really good thing for Apple. We shall see. Again, who knows how much of this stuff is even real versus just we're going to say we're going to do this just to say it. Apple stock, though, is continuing that tick up. It wasn't just a one thing and pull back. This screenshot's around here-ish. And Apple continuing. So nice. Had great numbers last week. Elon put out a Tesla FSD comment. Tesla is training a new FSD model with 10x the parameters and a big improvement to video compression loss. Probably ready for public release end of next month if testing goes well. I'm sure a lot of people are watching that. I want to quickly run through a couple of the news stories from last night and the earnings, and then we will get to the 9 a.m. Eastern news dump and see where we're at. If you guys have any stocks in the chat that you want me to look at after this on how they're moving in the pre-market or any stories behind them, throw in. I just saw you put Curiosity Stream. I'll take a look in a second. OpenAI is reportedly in talks for a share sale, which would value the company at $500 billion. For anyone curious, that would make it the 16th largest public company in the world, larger than Netflix, ExxonMobil, largest U.S. company, 16th largest U.S. company. It would be like 21 or 20 or something largest company in the world. Larger than Netflix, ExxonMobil, and Costco, though. Also Palantir, but I felt those other ones were a little larger. This was I don't know what the story tells too much, but beyond just an interesting thing. 2 Chinese nationals in California were arrested and charged with illegally shipping tens of millions of dollars worth of NVIDIA GPUs to China. Yeah, this was more about that Disney deal yesterday. I wanted to get to one or two of these earnings. Here's a lot of those moves. Actually, AMD's numbers. People had this as a miss on EPS. They saw the expectations around 49 cents. Expectations can vary in different places. Yeah, this Novo Nordisk news was also getting a lot of gravitation towards people watching that yesterday. Them going after more of the HIMSS type ones. Okay. Let's look into one or two of these big earnings from yesterday and see what the reports are saying. AMD falls despite strong Q2 encouraging outlook as analysts remain largely positive. Benchmark reiterates buy rating, raises price target, said deliver strong quarter. Company's recent strong stock with AMD up 26% less. We believe investors and traders were poised to lock in short-term profits almost no matter what AMD said. KeyBank maintains sector rating, so they're a little bit less. We're encouraged by these results and strong MI 355 ramp. AMD reported upside results in Outlook Tuesday. 2Q top sales street by 4%. However, the analysts noted they remain on the sideline until the path sustained upside became clearer. I want to look into SMCI as well. What are they saying? Supermicro down or blah 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 for the Q quarter. I think this is what it was. Looking forward, the memory taker accepts fiscal revenue next quarter to be midpoint like 45, 47 cents, 46 cents, much lower than the estimate of 59 cents. Expects net sales ranging between like 6 to 7, 6.5, slightly lower. Yeah, that's going to do it for a growth company. Entire fiscal year, they expect. Interesting. Okay, so what did they with support from our help mitigate tariffs and regional costs? So I wonder if this is like a chip transition for Nvidia or something, or if this is whatever. But okay, that's a little sign of hope there for the Supermicro that they didn't also bring down the full year. Okay, we're getting right to 9 a.m. Eastern here. I want to pull up window tab. There we go. See this? Get this a little bit bigger. This is Benzinga Pro. It's okay. It's solid. Does a good job for this type of thing. I pull it up around these. Give it a quick refresh. So this will, as filings start to come out at 9 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern is a very popular time for news to be released. Yeah, we'll see what we get. Okay, we got a lot of stuff coming out here. Kava enters the blind bag chat with new pita chip plushies. All right. Visa extends cybersecurity expertise, prioritizing proactive defense strategies for clients. Sale point. T-Mobile expands home and small business internet plans with more built-in benefits. Shopify and Lockheed Martin, no. Stablecoin, 21 seeds, Kava enters. Service Titan, Fortinet expands Forta Cloud with identity, secure storage, and communication services to power the modern enterprise. Interesting. Nothing crazy that's really drawing my eye. All right, we can pull off that screen. We can pull off of that screen. Nothing that I'm going to really post off of that 9 a.m. Eastern news dump. We had a couple of stocks that you guys were talking in the chat. Thoughts on CuriosityStream, Curie. I have not looked into this one in a long time. It's up 10% today. Did they just report earnings? They did last night. For anyone who doesn't know, they have it's like a streaming platform, but more for like educational content. Obviously, it's a pretty small company, but I don't have too much of thoughts in it. I'm sure I don't think this. I'll pull back. I don't know. Circle. More downside question mark. What has Circle been doing? I mean, yeah, the technicals don't look great. I get stable coins. I don't get how stable coins have differentiation and why like Circle would be able to get a large business and like their first, This little chop area, if this kind of at one point resistance can turn into support, maybe you'd want to see it. I'd be curious people things with like paper gains in them say. This isn't something I'd want to jump in front of at this point. To me, that feels like Yeah, maybe this level holds here. Maybe this is what holds. I wouldn't bet on that though. Novavax index of 5%. Did they have earnings? I'm sure they did. Let's see what the newest on Novavax is. Earnings snapshot, tops expectations, raising full year outlook. Revenue beat, EPS beat, full year adjusted outlook. Yeah, okay, so they raised the prior company updated full year framework. I don't know too deep into them, but the first look at those numbers there is pretty good. Stock's been pretty choppy. All right. Let's run through some of the big names. Apple still holding on to those gains. Nice. NVIDIA is one that's people have been watching a lot. There was comments yesterday from the president talking about semiconductor tariffs coming this week. He liked to call them excluded categories. This is one Lyft that reports earnings today after the close. I got a little gamble on it. We'll see. I bought on this big wake up, which was a headline that they are partnering with Baidu to launch autonomous vehicles in Europe or start doing an autonomous ride-hailing service in Europe, which obviously they're not the ones who supplying the self-driving tech, but I thought it was enough for the market to start to speculate on this name, given also where the kind of play is at too. Chop around technicals. We'll see. This is one that I am watching for after the close today. A Lyft earnings, stock talk, and paper gains both in on this one, which little 2-for-1 doesn't happen too often. Yeah, I think that is a pretty decent place to leave this this morning show, or at least kind of start to wrap up on that one. I do appreciate all of you guys for coming in and hanging out with me. I want to try and do this more, help you guys get ready for the day in the stock market. We could take a look at around some of the other people who post good news. Fast Stock Market News does some solid stuff. Don't see anything yet there yet. Wall Street Engine, I'm sure he would have posted a lot this morning so far. Some of those Kashkari comments, the Apple thing, Apollo. DJT launches beta test of new search engine on Truth Social. They were partnering with Perplexity. Channel partner, stock market news partner, Perplexity. Shout out to that. U.S. companies announced $166 billion worth of buybacks in July. I posted that yesterday. Joby moves first conforming aircraft to final assembly ahead of TIA flight test. Okay. Capri. A-Lab getting some price target increases. We're going to see a lot of those today with the stock going up. Energy lands first deal for first data center power deals totaling 295 megawatts. ACS acquiring a company for $64.5 million. S-band spectrum priority rights for 60. Okay. Company I work with, by the way, RecShares. They put out this the other day. They are launching. I don't know if the world necessarily needed this, but you're getting it. They're launching a 2x Galaxy Digital ETF. GLXU is what that ticker is going to be. I'm working with them. Obviously, those 2x ETFs are risky, and you should definitely know what you're buying into. But yeah, that one's coming. Unity we didn't look into. I'm also curious on GNI. Unity up 6.5. Genius Sports up 6.5 as well. Nice. Disney, NBC. All right, we're getting in the weeds now. Let's see if Walter tweeted anything. All the Kashkari ones, we read through those. Hassett. Meeting between Putin and U.S. Special Envoy Witkoff ends. Witkoff was in Russia, by the way, right now, trying to get an end to that war. It seems like this is the last step before the U.S. or Trump, might I say, starts to, I don't know. I guess, well, he's been going after India for this stuff. There was yesterday, there was a story that they actually sent some of the weapons over to Ukraine, a part of the U.S. made weapons. Europe buys them, sends them to Ukraine is going on. Yeah, we're into last night. All right, I think that's a good place there on that. My portfolio is about to open up the day up 0.7%. Not horrible. I appreciate you, Justin. I appreciate you for being here. Shout out Mikey B. Thank you to everyone in the chat. As I say, the live chat, people who come in here and talk, that is what makes all the difference. Shout out Mikey and CJ and Seismic Shift. Trader Girl was in here right at the start. You might have been here the entire time. What an awesome person. Alex, SSB, Brooker Stock, Ebenezer. I did not look at Palo Alto. I'm not going to be able to answer that question for you because I haven't dug too deep in it, but I'm guessing this was a big earnings move down. Pan W. You cannot see my screen right now. Let's see. Pan W gets rating cuts, blah, blah, blah. Palo Alto. Oh, it was that acquisition, wasn't it? Palo Alto Network agrees to acquire CyberArk for $25 billion. I saw a commercial for CyberArk, and they were saying that, or maybe it was Commvault. Maybe I saw a commercial for Commvault. I'm going to stop talking there. Palo Alto CyberArk acquisition equates to a home run deal, says Dan Ives and Wedbush. I'll take a look deeper into Palo Alto on my own time after this, so I can maybe give you a slightly better response there, Ebenezer. I'm sorry I didn't get to that sooner. Shout out to Malik. I appreciate you for being here. And then, yeah, we got CJ and Trader Girl being here right at the start. Thank you to all of you. What's up, Hasib? UNH asking the big questions here. Is UNH a buy? I want to get the chat's opinion on that. Chat, are you guys buying UNH at all? There was a rumor going around yesterday that Warren Buffett is maybe considering buying some, or maybe did buy some. I don't know. I saw no substantiating evidence for that rumor. So I don't know what to tell you on that one. One thing I will say, listen, if you want to talk about UNH, so we got Malik saying yes, and we got Alex Toro saying thought about it, but no. This is a very, very controversial stock right now, and we'll see. I haven't quite jumped in the train that much at this point right now. You guys know we have done a little bit of work. Listen, if you guys want me to bring it up, I am working with a company. This is the UNH. I'm working with a company that launched a 2x long daily UNH ETF. These 2x long single stock ETFs, please know what you guys are buying into. These are not for everyone. More for traders who know what they're doing, kind of trying to play off a swing trade or a swing play, which maybe this is, maybe this isn't. We're just kind of trying to put stuff on your radar. But what a time for leverage shares to go in and launch that 2x United Healthcare ETF. I was just looking over here. It has 100 million AUM after launching in like a week. I believe that's the first 10 days. And the stock has just really gone down. So it's not like they're getting help from the stock going up. People want to bet in this 2x UNH. No SEC filing on UNH, probably fake news, but who knows the future? I agree. I do not think there is any validity to that story of Warren Buffett buying into it. Do you think Novo will recover this year? And what do you think about Hood? I don't know if Novo Nordisk is going to recover this. I will tell you, I think that the GLP-1s are a theme that will continue over the years, and it's a theme that I want to be behind. Again, my way I'm doing that is through the U.S. and through Eli Lilly. I can't tell you Novo Nordisk specifically, but I think the theme they are in is strong, and I think that the rising tide will continue to lift all boats there. But you have to look specifically at Novo Nordisk versus Eli Lilly. When I look into Eli Lilly, I am a fan of it at this point. And then do I like Robinhood? You guys know I don't know if I can. I have I've kind of created a good relationship with the Robinhood team, being able to cover a lot of their events and get to see a lot of stuff. I've been able to talk with Vlad Tenev. I had a one-on-one with Vlad 2 weeks ago where I was able to talk with him in a pretty intimate setting for 10 minutes or so. And I mean, I'm very bullish on this name. Just full full transparency, but I might be biased in there. It's obviously very expensive here. They're executing really quickly. I don't inherently like the broker space. I do not want to own a stockbroker. I think it's a very competitive space. I don't wake up in my day and think about the innovation going on in the broker space. I think about it in like AI and something like that. So there's certain stuff pent up against it, but they're innovating super quickly. I see a lot of opportunities going forward. Their banking feature that's launching this quarter seems to be getting some of the Robinhood employees I was talking to. Not that they would say it was horrible, but they wouldn't just volunteer how great it is always unless it actually was. So I'm excited. I am excited to see what the future holds for Robinhood. I am holding my position. I have not sold any. I could go back and look. Maybe I've sold a tiny, but I'm holding my position, not necessarily aggressively buying more. Maybe if we got down to like 80, 70 or something, I'd be looking to buy again. Especially, the more it went down, it'd be good. Michael Cox says he would not buy UNH. So far, we got two no's on the UNH, one yes, and one that felt like a no, but I'm not going to quite count it there. We shall see. It is definitely a name that people are watching, betting on. End of week Tesla 325. You also asked a question up here that I missed. Any hope Tesla gets to 325 by the end of the week? I don't bet like that. I don't trade like that. We're at 307. I know Tesla moves aggressively. So you wanted to get. This is the earnings gap. So you want to get basically back halfway into the earnings gap. I see why you're targeting that level. I just don't see why it would happen this week. I don't feel comfortable saying yes to that. Fully there, CJ. So, but I appreciate y'all. 3:15 or 9:15. We got Wolf. They're doing the live spaces as always. I'm gonna be doing some other content throughout the day. I'm gonna maybe try and get another live stream booked. So we'll see. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. We had 5,000 people tune in, 5,400 on X, a couple on YouTube as well. I'm working hard to grow that YouTube, putting in a lot of effort. I really, X is fantastic. X is awesome. One of the things that they haven't done so great is discoverability of these spaces and these shows after I'm done, for you guys to be able to go through and read them. And maybe this is the type of thing that hearing me say this, they go in and double down on. I would love to build only on X, but at this point, YouTube has to be grown a little bit. So I appreciate you. If you guys want to go search for my YouTube page, you'll be able to find it. Same username, live right now. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I appreciate you for coming in and hanging out with me. Hope the market goes whatever direction your portfolio is priced for it to go. Thank you to everyone who said something in the chat that makes such a big difference. That makes this stream where I would have ended like 20 minutes ago without just going through the chat. And if I keep asking for this stuff, we can get into a deep conversation here, because I don't necessarily disagree that the price higher for Tesla might be lower, which makes me think that next week conversation might not hit. I don't know though. We'll see. I'm going to end the spaces before the stream before I get into too deep of a conversation. I appreciate you all.